Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Content Modeling Weekly show. Welcome to Monday. Hard to get back on track after a nice weekend. I hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. Today, I have another lesson for you. This time, we're going to be modeling a podcast page. By the way, I'm Marcelo Lewin, Headless Creator, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. Feel free to reach out to me. Also, for those of you watching live, it looks like StreamYard, which is a service we use, has a pretty bad connection today. And unfortunately, I cannot control that. So I don't know if you can put in your comments how bad it is, if it's all messed up right now. Hope not, because this is being recorded. So we'll see. We'll see how the internet treats us today. But it looks right now like StreamYard is acting up and it's not giving me a good connection as far as I can tell from now. So feel free to type in your comments if you have any questions. But as always, I'm going to start out by telling you a little bit about headlesscreator.com. And of course, today's lesson you'll be able to find on headlesscreator.com. All you need to do is go to headlesscreator.com, register for your free account, and then under all courses, you will find Content Modeling Weekly. And in there, you'll find every single lesson, including this one, which as you can see right there, Content Modeling a podcast page. That's going to be posted today. So hopefully this sounds and looks okay on your end. Like I said, I'm having some issues with StreamYard today. So we'll see what this ends up looking like. Hopefully it fixes itself. I hate when stuff like that happens, but we don't control that, right? All we can control is what we can control. So we'll go on with the show. As always, you guys know how I do this. No more marketing for the on-demand version. I'm going to go ahead and restart the intro, and we'll go ahead and jump into the lesson. So let's get to it. Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Content Modeling Weekly course. I'm your host, Marcelo Lewin, and as always, you can get a hold of me, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. There it is. There's my email address. Feel free to send me an email whenever you want. Reach out to me. For those of you watching live, if you can type in your comments, if the stream is not looking that great, I'm having some issues with StreamYard today. For those of you on demand, my apologies. I can't control, unfortunately, our service that we use. So hopefully things will get better. Alrighty, so today, what am I going to show you? Well, we're going to be talking about how to create a podcast page for your website, right? And I'm going to use an example of Anchor and its parent company, Spotify. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and model the ability to share or to create a podcast with multiple shows, multiple episodes, multiple presenters, multiple guests, multiple hosts, stuff like that. So let me show you real quick. Again, for those of you that are watching live, feel free to send any questions over. And if you can tell me how it looks on your end, I really would appreciate that. But here we are, Spotify, and you can see with Spotify, and let me see if we can make this a little bit, there we go, a little bit larger so you can see it better. It has multiple shows. You can see that there's a variety of shows under, various categories, right? So we can go to top podcast categories, then you can see a variety of podcasts. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Crime Junkie. Sure, why not? And you can see that Crime Junkie has a name, it has an image, somebody that created it, right? Is that, and then of course it has episodes. Now let's see episode description. So we can go there, and now this is more of an episode detail page, right? And then of course it has the typical you might like. Now let's see, you've got the ability to add to share. All of that is functionality of the website, which we don't need to model. But we have an episode description right here that you can see. Okay, so I'm going to show you also Anchor. I used to have a podcast, which I've stopped last year just because it was just consuming too much of my time. But it was called the Headless Creator Podcast, and it's still live. It's anchor.fm/headlesscreator. But you can see the service that Spotify purchased, anchor.fm. You can see that this is for us podcasters. We can host there, and it's a hosting. And you can see that a show has a name, some creator, a description for the actual show, and then it has episodes, a variety of episodes. So if I click on one episode, then there's the episode detail page, right? Which right here, it just shows you the title. You can play it. Pretty much that's it. It's about the same thing. It just selects it. So if we go here, a conversation about, oh, there we go. And I just started that. So then it plays it. So that is sort of a, the way Anchor does it. So what we're going to do, oh, and this is the profile page that you can see, for example, what it looks like. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and model. Let's start modeling this, right? Let's look at the ability to, if we go back here, this one is sort of the podcast charts that they have. Okay, so what do we need to do to model this? And for those of you just joining, thank you for joining on the live version. Feel free to post any questions. And if you have a minute, type in the comment bar. How does this look? How does it sound? Because I'm having some issues with StreamYard today. Okay, so we're going to start content modeling a podcast. Let's go ahead and do that. So we know we have a podcast. And a podcast obviously has a name. And I'm going to call it internal name first. And then let's see, let's go back here. Let's go to a podcast, Crime Junkie again. We'll stick with that. It has a name, an author, a creator, a company, however you want to do it. It has an about, and then it has episodes. So let's put in the basics right now. Let's get this larger here. And for those of you that are new, this is the standard that I use. I use Miro, and I created a template. You'll have access to the Miro board without a problem on the site. Just register to headlesscreator.com. Okay, so we have a title. We have an author, but an author is going to be a different content type. So I'm just putting an author feel here. We have a description, and we know we have episodes. So that's kind of like the basics. Let's start with that. And let's make it our standard here, like that. So we know we have an author, and instead of an author, I'm going to call it a, let's put that here. Yeah, we'll call it an author, but I'm going to say that a podcast can have more than one author. So maybe it is multiple companies. I know in Spotify, they only have one, but what if it's two companies managing? I don't know. I'm going to give that flexibility. I just like to make things scalable. So I'm going to say podcast author. We'll just keep it as author. And we'll say name. Actually, we'll say, my standard is to have an internal name for the authors to actually find the content, right? So, all right, we'll say first name, last name, company. We'll have a contact. We'll leave it like that for now real quick. Okay, so we'll do that. So that means that this is going to be a one-to-many, because we're going to allow multiple authors to author. And it's a relationship field. Okay. So that means it's orange. Alrighty. So let's make this a little bit bigger. So there you go. We have podcast with an author, and here's the basics of an author.